Hello, welcome. It's Wednesday night and we are live. Just gonna wait a few minutes for people to jump on here, and we'll get started. We'll just do a normal live. Got a couple things to open, and we'll do movie trivia. Things that we normally do, and some Q&A. Hoping that the audio sounds okay tonight. And let me pull this up over here. Okay. Hey, how's it going? Let's see here. All right, we got people joining us now. So how's everything sound, first of all? Always adjusting the sound. Mute that. All right. Well, we'll do a little Q&A here. And I got a couple packages to open. Vegan Coon, yeah, probably don't. You can call me Chris Zombie. All right, how's everyone doing tonight? How are you doing? All right, so first thing is I want to open a couple packages that I have here. This one has a nice little red package here. And where is my... I don't see my knife anywhere, so I guess I'm going to have to use this to slice that open. All right, so for those of you that have been watching my videos in the last couple weeks, I sliced that open on accident. I didn't think that would be a problem here. Fang rolls. Okay, so I sent away for my vampire teeth that I had. I broke one of them. And so I had that planned for my Halloween themed video that I did. I was going to wear those. That was going to be my costume. These are the impressions that I had to send back in to get a new one. And now I finally got them. They came in yesterday, which was a few days too late. So I didn't get them. So that's my teeth, and there they are. Hopefully they fit. We could try them out. Make sure that they work this time. And I said that since I didn't get them for the Halloween, that I would wear these on every single live stream until next Halloween. All right, that one fits. And that one fits. There we go. How's that? Do they look okay? They fit nice. I can talk with them in. They don't feel like they're gonna fall out. It's pretty good. So, yeah. Since I didn't get them, I guess I'm gonna wear them every day. No, I probably really won't do that, but I did think about it. My audio is low? Audio is low. It's up all the way. I don't know what else to do. Hello. I can put it closer to my face. Over here. Hello. Is that too loud? Yeah, you're not supposed to eat with them in. You could drink with them in. You could probably drink with them in. You're not supposed to sleep with them in. And you're not supposed to, if you're going to sneeze, cough, or vomit, try to remove your fangs in time. And lastly, You are not a real vampire. Do not be stupid and drink blood. I know you will bite someone. Keep in mind, I am not responsible. This is from Horror Show Jack. Let's see. Fang rules. Do not eat with them in. Do not sleep with them in. You can brush your teeth. You can brush them or use mouthwash. Do not use anything with peroxide in it. You can drink with them in. Okay, well, there's the rules for the vampire teeth. I'm going to put them back right now, and I'm going to remember that I have a nice pair of vampire teeth for anytime. Anytime. Why won't that fit there? Come on. I did take that off that tooth, didn't I? I feel like that's not fitting back on there. I don't want to force it in and break it. That's definitely not what I want to do. 1, 2, this one right here. Did I take that off the wrong one? Oh, that's what I did. Put them on the wrong one. There we go. Almost broke them right when I got them. And there we have it. Vampire teeth. And he's got all kinds of different ones, by the way, but I know it's just, you know, I was kind of bummed because like the minute after Halloween's over, everybody's like thinking something different. Nobody wants to continue to think, well, not nobody, but most people are like, all right, Halloween's over for now. Looking forward to next year, but right now let's get on to what's next. So, huge bummer that I didn't get those. In fact, I did not dress up this year for Halloween. I went over to my brother's house, and my nieces went around dressed up as superheroes, and I didn't even go. I watched the full moon come up out of the sky, the first in 76 years. So yeah, that was fun. Talked a little bit of astronomy with my dad, and then that was over. We had some pizza. Hope everybody else had a good day too. What if I bite myself? Am I no longer a vegan? I bite myself. I'm not vegan. No. Okay, and I have one more package here. Might as well open this. There's a little ghost on it, so I'm assuming another Halloween theme. A little bit late, but late better than never. And I don't want to. It's an eco bubble mailer too, so I guess it's eco-friendly materials. There you go. All right, what could be inside here? Can you hear that? How's the sound now? Does it sound better? Is it? I hope it's not too low, because if it is, I don't know what to do. The sound is up all the way. All right, we have some vegan pins. This is from my friend's company, Vegan Power. Vegan Power pins. Vegan. What's this one? This one is a ghost. And we have, let's see. I love these pins. I've been asking my guy where I can get some kind of pin like this, where it's kind of cut out like that. They're nice pins. Creepy vegan, weird vegan. I guess I'm a weird vegan. We got Friday the 13th vegan. We have, what, Freddy vegan? These are all nice Halloween things that I got. A little bit too late. Well, there we got Ghostbuster. Ghostbuster vegan. Hi, Chris. Been loving your 31 days of Halloween post. I wanted to share. Okay, cool. And then we have some. Ooh, these are some nice stickers. Oh, I love. This is like all 80s theme. We got that one. We have Thundercat one. Captivity Kills. We have Magnet. Spooky Vegan Magnet. And just the vegan. I have this hoodie. A zip-up hoodie. And Creepy Vegan. Boom. So yeah, pretty nice stuff. Makes me realize I gotta up my game on my pins and stickers. You guys like that sound? Okay. Q&A time, and then we have some movie trivia if you guys want to do that. And no, I don't have anything horror related here tonight because I said after October we would do some other movies for those of you who aren't huge horror fans. Yes, it for me it's Halloween 24/7. You love the weird ones. Blue moon doesn't describe the color. No, it just describes the second moon of a month. You got it. Yeah, it was and you can never really photograph it the way you see it with your eyes, and I saw it right on the horizon when it was nice big moon, and yeah, it was pretty interesting. And I guess we were at the time, we probably still are pretty close, but the closest we've been to Mars in 135 years. So little astronomy lesson with Dad. What's my advice to any vegans who live with meat-eating family? Okay, well, that's how I grew up. I grew up with a meat-eating family. And, I mean, you just gotta make your own stuff. I make my own food. I offered it to, them. Maybe see if they could start eating some of the foods. But, yeah, for most of the time, no, they would not eat my food. They would continue to eat their food for many years, like 30 years. Yeah, 30 years. So yeah, you just gotta kind of I don't really know, you just gotta do your thing. You do your thing. If you're living in their house, you can't really force them to do anything. You can only try to hopefully inspire them to maybe try to go vegan or try to eat some more vegan foods. It doesn't always work. In my case, it didn't work for many years. It was like literally 28 years before we finally had an all vegan Thanksgiving. And this is when I say 28 years, it was from when I first went vegetarian over 30 years ago. And I started making my own foods. Now that I own my own house, like I don't allow anybody to, nobody would even try to do that in the first place, but, I don't allow people to bring animal products into my house or cook on my utensils, pots and pans, anything like that, anything that's not vegan. And people know this, it's not, but when you go to other people's houses or you live with somebody that's meat eaters, I don't know, it depends, for the longest time, we had to clean the dishes and use them again, or clean the pans and use them again. If I thought that they, cook something, obviously I would clean it really good, but it wasn't until I lived on my own that I was like, I finally got my own stuff, my own house, and I'm going to, not allow, people. If I haven't had this because nobody really comes to my house, but my brothers, like, they'll take turns. We'll go to their house for dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, or like holiday dinners or something like that, and then they'll make food. And usually somebody in the family, not really the immediate family, but like a little bit of it. I don't have a huge family. It's kind of getting bigger with my brothers having families and stuff, but like aunts or uncles or in-laws bringing over maybe like a turkey on Thanksgiving when we have all this vegan stuff. Like it wasn't until we went to my one brother's house a couple years ago that they just said, no, nothing. It's all got to be vegan. And it was, and everybody loves it. And the thing is when you have vegan food anyway, people will try it out and eat it. Like just the other night, we made vegan pizza, and all the non-vegans, like the in-laws, were eating it up. Like any other time when there's some non-vegan food, they would look at it and be like, oh, I don't want that. Or they would eat it all and try it and be like, oh, this is great. Eat all yours and then eat all theirs. And, we're just all watching them like a hawk. Like, are they going to use the same utensil to try to, and that can get kind of weird too. Cause that did happen. That happened a couple of years ago and I felt really bad, but like, okay, here's the situation. So it was, my sister and, one of our in-laws, and my sister she had said that she spent like all day making like this big thing of vegan gravy. Okay. And she was like so proud that she did that. And then one of the in-laws, I won't say who it is, one of the in-laws, they scooped a big thing of gravy, and I'm watching them like boom, and big thing of gravy, and put it down on like their meat platter and touched the ladle all to the meat as they did it. So that's the one thing people don't realize. Like people don't think these things when they do it until you're vegan, and then you're like watching people like a hawk with your food. Like I know some people don't care about this kind of stuff. I do. I don't. It's disgusting to me, and I know other vegans that are the same way, and my family is the same way. So as she went to put it back into the gravy, like I had milliseconds to react, and I didn't want to offend anybody or anything, but immediately I went, no, and I put my hand there, and so the ladle hit my hand instead of the gravy, because I knew like none of us would have, like if it went into the gravy, none of us would have eaten it, and I felt bad that my sister spent all day making it, but I also didn't want to offend the in-law and be like, like I'm just like, I had to react like immediately, so I went boom. And, I think she was taken aback by that at first, but I was like, no, like, I'm not, I just, like, it touched the meat. Like, I'm trying to explain it, like, like, no offense or anything, but, we're good, but, yeah. I mean, in all the years that I've been vegan, like, I've seen things happen like that. Like, for instance, I was with John one time, and we were at a state park. And I don't remember what it was for. Maybe it was somebody's graduation or something. Anyway, we were all hanging out there, and there was all of their friends were there, like high school friends. And so there was some non-vegans there, and there were some parents there and stuff like that. And we brought a bunch of vegan burgers with us, and we cleaned off the grill. I think what we actually did was we put aluminum foil down for the grill so we could grill our burgers and hot dogs and stuff. And then one of the dads came over, and not thinking at all, just like he knew our stuff was vegan and stuff, and he's cooking on a grill, cooking burgers that weren't vegan, flame broiling them on the little grill there with a spatula, and like totally just trying to like come over and help, wasn't thinking, and started turning our burgers as he's turning like the greasy cow burgers, and we're all like looking, and by then it was just too late, and we're all just like and John's like, yeah, we can't eat those now, and I'm like, oh my god, and again, I know some people that would still eat them, and that's fine, whatever, but it kind of grosses me out. So yeah, you just you just basically, you don't take anything too seriously. You just take life as it comes, because it's all part of life and it's all a learning experience, and you can learn by one thing and try to correct those things in the future, or try to prevent those things in the future, and do it in like a classy way where, like, I don't like to offend people or anything when I'm doing stuff, especially when they mean well. So just take it as it goes. And again, don't take anything too seriously. I mean, like, you can make it through a night. Like, if there's nothing else, I mean, I'm sure you could find something else to eat. But like I always say, like, hey, I've gone longer time frames without eating, so it's not like that big of a deal. At the very worst case scenario, I'll eat when I get home, or I'll find something else to eat there. So you might be bummed that you really had your mind set on something, but everything, it's doable. And all the years I've been vegan, and even before that vegetarian, which I've still had to come into situations like that, it's literally 3 decades long of my life. It's most of my life. And I've never had an experience where I was like, oh my God, I never want to be in a situation like, well, I mean, I've never had a situation where I was like totally doomed, where I'm like, I gotta eat meat now, It's all those times that have gone by. Yeah. And like I said, like, I've been also, like, being vegan, I've also been in situations where, I was pretty financially stable. And I've also been in situations where I was, poor as dirt. And the first thing that comes to mind there is, after moving out of my parents' house, I moved on my own with a couple friends to Florida, as a teenager. I just wanted to experience the world before I went to college or anything. I'm like, I'm moving out. I just up and moved. I went to Florida, which was huge, because that's like, it's almost 2,000 miles away from home. Like, this was a big move. And, I'm renting a place with some friends, and literally, like, we were broke. We were so broke. And I remember, having no money, just enough to pay the rent, and go grocery shopping, and like literally buying things that were vegan. And by the way, this is back in 1995, so like, going shopping for vegan stuff was pretty creative. You'd have to get pretty creative in what you would find, because like, there wasn't vegan stores, there wasn't products labeled vegan. There was just accidentally vegan things, and that's what we did. Like, and I bought the cheapest of the cheap foods, but I never went hungry. And I ended up I've had a lot of jobs in my life. I was in waste management, but not like Tony Soprano. I was a garbage man. I was on the back of a garbage truck picking up garbage for literally 15 hours. I went into work when it was dark out, and I got home when it was dark out. My face was all sooty and dark and full of dirt and dust from being on the back of the garbage truck. And then I had one day to recuperate. The only day we had off was a Sunday. And like, I didn't keep that job for too long, because I'm like, I have no life. Like, the one day I have off, I have to recoup my sleep so I can go back in again. And so then I ended up getting another job where I had to walk like a mile and a half to work, and then a mile and a half home. And then when I had my first paycheck, I bought a broken down junky 10-speed bicycle from Goodwill for $10, and then I would ride my bike back and forth from work when my roommate wouldn't pick me up on the motorcycle. So yeah, and the whole time I remained vegan. Like, it wasn't a question in my head that I couldn't be vegan. So like, it's just a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice of, like, it literally comes down to, like, what am I gonna? Your choice to what are you gonna put in your mouth? What kind of food are you gonna put in your mouth? Because we all have to eat, right? We all have to eat. So are we gonna put something vegan or something non-vegan? And like, you can, like, I've done it since the beginning. Like, back when it was, I never thought it was hard, but back when it was a little more difficult than it is today to find vegan things. So like, I mean, we had to live off of different spaghettis and pastas and rice and cheap cereals and ramen and stuff like that. And it might not have been like the healthiest thing, but like, nobody was really even talking health back then, as far as, I mean, there was no internet, there was no YouTube, there was nothing to guide. We did this We did this on our own. This was life. This was learning to live, learning to do things, and we took it as it came, and it was fine. It turned out fine. So, if you're overwhelmed by going vegan, just know that, just take it day by day. You can do it. You can do it. It's just life coming at you. You love fried caramelized onions. I have a story about that too. Caramelized onions. So I've worked in a lot of early on, even before I was the garbage man, and after I worked a lot in the food industry. So I did a lot of cooking and prepping, and I've done it all in the food industry, and that's another way that I learned how to cook and how to veganize different things. And in a few different places, we would prepare caramelized onions or caramelized onions and stuff. So I knew caramelized onions. And about 12 years ago, when I lived in the DC area, I was an investigator down in DC, and I lived in Arlington. And my parents came down to visit one day, and we all went out to Old Town Alexandria, and we went out to eat. And there was a pizza place, and I just right off the bat, I looked in to see if they had anything vegan, and they did. So I was like, all right, cool. So I asked them the question, like, I ordered a vegan pizza, basically back in 2008, like just no cheese. So just pizza with sauce and some veggies. And I ordered caramelized onions because I'm like, oh, I like caramelized onions. But for some reason, I don't really like just throwing onions on my pizza. And if I do, I'm really weird. Like, if I am going to have veggies, which I'm fine with, they got to be chopped up. Like, they got to be diced up really small for me. Like, otherwise, I'm more likely than not just kind of pick them off of if it's a big chunk of a pepper or an onion. Like, I don't know. They need to be chopped up for me. So I wasn't keen on getting just regular onion on my pizza. But when they said caramelized onion, I'm like, oh, that sounds good. So I ordered caramelized onion. And then the waitress comes back over and gives us the pizza and everybody else, and I'm like, and I'm looking, and there's just straight up like onion slices on the pizza. They weren't caramelized, and I was like, oh wait, I ordered the caramelized onions. And also, mind you, back in 2008, I was a totally different person. I was super duper shy. This is before I kind of broke out in the YouTube thing and forced myself in front of the camera. So I was incredibly introverted and very, very shy. So even I know when somebody's bullshitting me, like I knew, like I wouldn't really make a big deal about it. So I was like, I ordered the caramelized onions, like kind of like a question. And she's like, and she knew, I could tell by the look in her face and the tone of her voice, she knew that there was a mistake there, but she's like, oh, no, that's how we do them here. That's how we do our caramelized onions, and basically by not caramelizing them at all. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just picked them off and ate the pizza. But that's the first thing that came to my mind when you said that. I always think of that incident when I hear caramelized onions. Anyway, just a story. Am I done with The Last of Us? The last time I played The Last of Us was that one time on... I've been consumed with EverQuest right now. And I've been streaming a lot, by the way. I'm streaming a lot on Twitch. And actually, the Twitch stream is gaining a lot of viewers because of it. So, and I'm having a good time doing it because the new expansion is coming out in a couple days, apparently, unless something happens. So I've been trying to get to the top level there. There's another game that I just realized. I was down in my basement looking for something and I found it. It's not The Last of Us, but it's Left 4 Dead. So I've had that game for probably years now, and I used to play it on the computer. And I totally forgot that I played that game. I heard some people talking about it, and I don't really remember it too well. My tattoo on my hand. All right, we can talk about the tattoo on my hand. It is, hold on. I've done this before, so I actually have it right here, what it looks like. Can I pull this up? There's that. That's what it is. It doesn't look that good. It's a Japanese character. And I did it myself. when I was 14 years old. Me and one of my friends, we were into ninjutsu. And our ninjutsu trainer was not only teaching us like the martial art, but also like the ancient ways of ninjas live their lives. And we were learning the different symbols and the elements, the air, fire, wind, water. And we were learning all about it, all about the ancient ninjutsu, ninjas. And one day before we went out to train, this is really the beginning of my story of what brought me to my vegan journey. And this was back in March of 1990. And so one day before we went out, we were so like, it was like the best times for us, like, being like 14 and training ninjutsu at the time, because I was into martial arts, but all I had learned was karate. So ninjutsu was like, wow, this is awesome. And like, we got a trainer, and this trainer was like an unofficial trainer. He was really good and he was really smart at what he was doing. But he wasn't like a paid class to go to. He was a family friend. And we would go there with him. He was a little bit older than us. So we were like 14. He was like in his late teens, like 19, 20. And he was good friends with my friend's brother. And we would go and train. And one day, as we would do this, maybe once or twice a month, he introduced us to, this is what he said to us. He said, okay, the ancient ninjas they lived their life. They were vegetarians, and they would eat all vegetarian, and that's how I eat. So I'm like, well, if they did it, then we want to do it. So he brought over that day with him some tofu, which was uncooked raw tofu. So he had a thing of tabbouleh, which I know is not, but he had some tabbouleh with him. And then he had some like herbal green tea that he steeped himself and made for us. And he wanted like this ritual where we would try each one of these. And I'm like, I don't care what it tastes like. If the ninjas did it, I want to do it. Like I was 14. So I tried tofu for the first time ever right there that day, 30 years ago. And, it had no flavor to it, no taste to it, as you know what tofu tastes like. And ironically, now when I have tofu without flavor in it or cooking it, it like gives me that nostalgic, like brings me all the way back to that day, which I did the same thing a couple days ago because they didn't have any oat milk, and I bought rice milk, and that brings me also back down to like when I first went, vegetarian. Even before I was vegan, I tried some vanilla rice milk, and I was like, oh man, the nostalgia brings me right back to the first time I tried it. Anyway, I tried the tofu, tried the tabbouleh, and I had the tea. I didn't really care for the tabbouleh. I didn't like the mint taste of it. But I ate it, and the tofu was fine. Like, I'm like, this is something that I can do. This is something like that I want to do. So we went out and trained, and then later that day, me and my buddy were like, you know what? We're going to go vegetarian. And that's the first thing that we learned about going vegetarian. So when we were out with, my mom took us to the store, and we were looking around, we're like, okay, so what can vegetarians eat? Like, we got to figure this out. We got to start learning. And that's when I started learning this whole lifestyle, because again, this is 1990. There's no internet, there's no Google, there's no anything like that. And we hadn't even heard the word vegan at this point. And I started learning more and more about this. I'm like, this really vibes with me because I love animals anyway. I don't want to kill animals. So, going vegetarian. Okay, so back to the tattoo. So that very day, we decided, because that symbol right there that I just showed you is called Ninpo, Ninpo. And it means the blade over the heart. And we wanted to represent, we're like, okay, so we also were learning the pressure points and what they were called in ninjutsu, like the way that the ancient ninja, the Japanese martial artists called them. So we learned all the pressure points. We're like, well, let's give ourselves this tattoo, because my friend was like, they were experimenting with, like, they were skaters. That's how I met them. We were all skateboarders and stuff. And they were giving themselves these little tattoos with like a sewing needle and India ink. Not the best thing to do, but like we were young and dumb. We were 14, 15. And so they were giving themselves all kinds of weird tattoos. So I'm like, hey, let's, I think he mentioned it, like, let's give ourselves that ninja tattoo. And I'm like, okay, maybe where? Like, we're trying to think like where we could do it. And we were both going to do the same thing because we were like best friends. We were brothers, kind of not real brothers, but we were best friends. So I'm like, let's do someplace where nobody's really going to see it. And, like just in case we need to hide it or something, like nobody's going to, so like not on our arms, like most people. So I'm like, oh, what about the pressure point called Yubitsubo? And he's like, oh yeah, because that's what this pressure point was called, Yubitsubo. And so I'm thinking, oh, let's do it right there. So I'm thinking like nobody's gonna see it on our hand, like being a young dumb kid. So we're like, all right, let's do it. So we did it. It was very painful. We took a needle and we basically scraped it into our skin. If you're queasy though, you might want to plug yours. So we scrape it into our skin, dip it in the ink, scrape it back in there. We really got that ink in there. It was, like then we put a Band-Aid over it, went to school. And I know my mom saw that. My mom, I used to nickname my mom like worst case scenario Kathy. Because anything that we would say we were doing, she'd be like, "Oh, you could die. You could get blood poisoning and die." Like she was like, I was so sheltered as a kid. But anyway, we did the tattoos. They healed up, and there it is today, 30 years later. This is before any of my friends that are covered in tattoos today had any tattoos. This is the only tattoo on my body. Well, not quite, because when I was done with this tattoo, I was just messing around. We had the India ink in a soda cap. A soda cap, my mom's sewing needle, which I'm pretty sure I did not sterilize. I might have. No, I think I did. I think we did with a lighter. I think we sterilized it. And India ink, which I don't know if it was vegan or not. We didn't know any of that stuff back then. And then when I was done, I was playing around in the ink with the needle, okay? And I was pushing down on the needle and it snapped and it broke back up and the needle went right into my finger. So now I also got a tattoo right. Can we see this? Can we see this? Right there. Those are the only tattoos on my body. So yeah, we went vegetarian cold turkey. My friend to this day still has the same tattoo as me. It's on my hand. I was very self-conscious of it when I became a special investigator, because here I am wearing a suit and tie, going to do, top secret, security clearances with government officials and defense contractors and stuff like that. And I was so self-conscious that people were looking down at my hand, like is that dirt on you? I've had so many people ask me like, oh, you got something on your hand, or there's dirt on your hand, or something like that. I'm like, oh, it's a tattoo. And they still didn't believe me. They're like, yeah, right. I'm like, no, it's a tattoo. I don't think twice about it now, but yeah, that's my tattoo. And that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Any other questions? So I credit, I learned about veganism on my own, but I never probably would have done that journey, or probably wouldn't have done it as soon as I did if it wasn't for that, my ninjutsu trainer that inspired us that day. So I give credit to him for that, because he kind of boosted our journey right there. Am I still friends with who? I'm still friends with the guy that has the tattoo, and I talk to him on the phone maybe once a year or something. Like, I haven't seen him in like probably 8 or 9 years now, and it's crazy because he lives not too far from here. But I mean, he's a crazy workaholic as well. So he owns a huge company, and I don't know. I haven't seen him. The guy the ninja trainer that inspired me, I never saw him again. And then I linked up with him probably 7 years ago on Facebook. And so, I had not seen any pictures of or nothing of him. And then I saw him and I was like, oh, there he is. Like, he was a tattoo artist in like the Tennessee area. And about 3 4 years ago. Unfortunately, he took his life, and so I can't ever tell him. I did thank him before. I did thank him before that, and I said, I attribute, you inspired me, to where I am now. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. So, but I still have the story, and I'll never stop telling it. Get together and make a ninja video. It's funny because I have a ninja training video of us from 1993. It's VHS tape, and we're in my parents' backyard with our ninja stuff on, and we're rolling around the yard, stretching, warming up, and oh my God, I used to be able to dive. I could dive. He's like as tall as me, and he held a stick up by his like shoulder width, and I ran and I dove over and I did a dive roll over it. I was like, yeah, man, I was really good. I don't know. Probably could not do that right now. Can you see? Well, you could see. I could pull that up another time. Right now, I can't pull it up because I have way too many videos that I have to go through, and I'm still slowly trying to go through old videos for some content for you guys. Yeah. Yeah, I have old videos like that. I wish I had videos with the other guy, though, but we didn't. And he dedicated his whole life to what he was doing at the time. Like, he was a minimalist. Like, we went to his house once. Like, the only thing he had, his bed was like literally a futon, and then it would fold up to like the couch. And like, I wanted a futon after that because like I had never heard of the word futon until that. And this is 30 years ago. So I'm like, I want that. And the only thing else he had were like literally books, like ninjutsu books, and like the the Grandmaster Masaki Hatsumi and stuff like that. So, it was a really fun time for us. And it was me and a couple of friends. There was a third friend that never got the tattoo or anything. And again, I haven't heard from him either. I have no idea how to get a hold of him. He's not on Facebook. Like, I don't, it's weird. But the funny thing is I have wanted tattoos long before all of my friends are covered in tattoos now. And I had a good friend who was a tattoo artist, and we would hang out, and he was willing to give me like a free tattoo back then because like I was kind of like the driver. Like, why is it like my tattoo friends don't drive? So he never drove, and I was like the guy that would like, we'd drive everywhere. We'd go out to dinner, we would like hang out, we go skating, and he was a tattoo artist, and he was willing to give me a free tattoo, for driving him around all the time for free and stuff like that. And I was so indecisive, and I'm glad I didn't do it. And but now, like, I'm free of tattoos other than this, but I've always wanted to get like, I've always been intrigued by getting like an 80s and a horror themed sleeve. And I also wanted like a leg thing. The thing I was going to get on my leg, I'm glad I didn't, because at the time I'm like, like I love the Transformers from the 80s, and I wanted like this Transformers kind of thing. And then, and this is back in the 90s. And then like whatever year, like 10 years later, Transformers came back out again with Michael Bay, and it was like all over the place again. I was like, wait a minute, well, I don't, like everybody was getting like Transform, Autobot, Decepticon things. It got really big again. And I was like, I don't know. Like I'm going based on like the 80s cartoon kind of like memory there. And then I just decided like, nah, maybe that's not what I want. And I'm glad I was so indecisive, because he drew it up and everything. And that's pretty unheard of. When somebody draws something up, it's pretty much a given you're going to get it. I'm like, I don't know I don't really want that. I don't know. I don't. And he's like, all right, whatever. So I never got a tattoo from him. He's got a tattoo place out of San Diego now. And he's a pretty successful tattoo artist. But yeah, I might do that. And then after that, in the late 90s, I decided that I wanted to be a special agent in the FBI and solve violent crimes. So I went to school, and my whole next 12 years of my life was dedicated to try to obtain that goal right there. So like everything I did was like study, learn, study, learn, study, learn, get good grades, get perfect grades, study, learn, and try to do this. And I ended up becoming a special investigator under the United States government, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. And shortly after that, this is my story of how I started the Vegan Zombie. Shortly after that, I reached the age requirement to never be in the FBI. So when I say that I failed at trying to get my goal in the FBI. I never quit. I just failed because I hit the age requirement to become a special agent in the FBI. I was super bummed about that. And then the job that I had as a special investigator, it was cool, a stepping stone to get to the FBI, but it wasn't anything with what I wanted to do. And I began to resent that job. And then I started to panic and be like, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. I can't imagine doing this until like I'm in my 60s and then retire and that be it. Like I started to hate it. I resented it. And I didn't feel good. Like I had no passion, and I didn't want to get up every day doing this and knowing that there was times I felt like pulling the hair out of my head just because I'm like, I hate this job so much. So there I was working this job. I was driving the back roads of upstate New York, and it was early spring of 2009. It was April, and that's when I came up with the idea for the Vegan Zombie. I just said to myself, I'm like, I hate this job. I hate doing this. I have no passion. Well, what do I like doing? What could I love doing? What could I have passion for and want to get up every day and do? And I'm like, well, okay, well, let's try to figure this out. What are some of the things that I love? And I'm like, oh, I love movies. I love horror movies. And I've been vegan half my life. So, okay, let's take those three things and try to mesh them together and figure out something that I could do with this. Like this is what I love. So I started thinking like, well, what if it was like vegan vampires? I love vampires, vegan vampires. Vegan werewolves, that could be a thing. Vegan zombies. Oh my God. And I had an idea. And I went home and I took literally a legal notepad and a pencil. And I wrote an entire script for the movie, The Vegan Zombie. And I'm like, I'm going to make this movie. And that means I got to get better at, because I've already gone to college. I don't have money to go to school again for filmmaking. And I've been doing my own little videos and films since I was a little kid because my dad got me into it. Even before I was born, he was doing movies with like movie film and like Super 8 movie cameras and projectors. So it really got me into doing that. And I had made several like scary movies with my younger brothers and friends. And so I'm like, all right, well, I got to get better. I got to do this like the pros. I got to learn how to do this. And by 2009, like we had YouTube so I could learn how to do like special effects and movie stuff. And if we rewind all the way to the late 90s when I decided to go to school to be in the FBI, that was my second decision. What I really wanted to do was be a film director. But I kind of, back in the 90s, there was no YouTube, there was no internet, there was nothing to share any of your stuff, what we have today. So I had to like weigh my options. I'm like, I'm not independently wealthy. I don't know anybody in Hollywood. It doesn't look like I'm realistically going to do this. I mean, I could try and probably waste all my money, but there doesn't look like any realistic way that I'm going to do this in Hollywood and make movies and stuff. So I went to my second thing and I said, that would be a hobby of mine. It would be something I love doing. I'll do that on the side always. But 2009, things changed. And basically I just told myself I need to start going out. The best way to do something like that, to learn, is to just go out and do it and make mistakes and learn from those. So I'm like, all right, I'll do that. You know what I could do? I'll make a YouTube channel and I'll start making zombie skits. But why don't I figure out a way to do zombie skits, but also I could promote veganism in a fun way. How could I do that? I'll make a vegan cooking show and I'll set it in the zombie apocalypse. Perfect. Because at the time, there was no vegan anything on YouTube. There was no vegan cooking channels. There was nothing like that. So I'm like, I'm going to make a cooking show and I'm going to put it on YouTube and I'll see if anybody likes it. So I didn't want to be in front of the camera because I was too shy. I'm like, I can do everything behind the scenes. So I'm like, all right, my brother's friend John is vegan, and he's a lot like me. So I met up with him at Wegmans late at night at Wegmans, because Wegmans is a great grocery store that we all know has a really big dine-in area that we used to go there after hours any time of night, because Wegmans before the pandemic used to be 24/7. So we would just go buy food in the grocery store, whatever it was, even if it was something we'd have to use the microwave, because they had the microwave over there. They had boiling hot water if we wanted to make like ramen or something. We would go buy it, and then we go sit in the dining area, which the lights were off, but it wasn't pitch black in there, and we would go sit down, and they never kicked us out, and we would just eat and clean up our mess. And so I met John there. We got some vegan chicken nuggets or something, and I just described to him my idea of what I wanted to do. And then he's like, oh, this sounds awesome. I go, does it? He's like, yeah, it sounds really, really, really cool. And I'm like, do you want to be the host of the show? Do you want to be the chef? And he's like, oh man, yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do this. So I met at his apartment, which was the first setting that we used for the vegan zombie, which still to this day is my favorite. It was my favorite kitchen, and it was a really, really, really small studio with like a little kitchen in it. And we filmed a couple episodes, and the way we picked our recipes were basically like we would get together. We're both longtime vegans, so even before the internet existed, we would all get together as friends. We would invite a bunch of our vegan friends over on like Christmas and Thanksgiving, or the days after, days before, whatever, and we would have our own little parties, usually at his parents' house, because his parents, they worked really, really late at night because they had their own business doing that, so they would be gone, and we would be there, and we would make food, and we would just celebrate with a bunch of different vegan things. And one of his main things that he would make was vegan stuffed shells. And that was the first video we made, was vegan stuffed shells. We also put like some bruschetta in there as well. And we made that video, and to our surprise, it got more views than any of my other videos that I made in the past that I would normally only show with my friends and my family. So I was like, wow, like it got that many views. Let's do more. So we started doing more, and it kind of grew from there. So that's how we started the Vegan Zombie, and that's how we kept going with the Vegan Zombie. And it started out as just a cooking show, but things change. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same. And now now we do things like this. We do live streams, behind the scenes, grocery shopping videos. Am I out of focus because of this? I hope not. Let me try to put that out of the screen right there. Anyway, I'm rambling again. Need a sip of water after all that. You want to do movie trivia, guys? Do I miss LA? I do miss LA. I really liked LA, and I was going to move out to LA, but things didn't work out. So, I like that I live here because my friends and family live here. I own a house here, and the way I see it, or at least saw it before the pandemic, was that I completely accepted and liked that I could live here, and I could travel anywhere I wanted, with what I do for a living. I could travel and continue to work while I'm traveling. And, you all know my work is, my videos that I do. So I can continue to do the videos that I love doing, but I could do it in other places of the world. And going out to LA is it's incredible, especially for vegans. It's just like there's so many things you can do out there. And I've got so many friends out there. And, I would go out there, 2 or 3 times a year, and I would stay out there sometimes for like, a week to a month at a time. And then I would come back here, and I would like have so much content to edit for the next few months. But I haven't been there since last year because of, the pandemic. I was supposed to go there in March, early March, as we all know, that's when the pandemic happened, and that's when things started closing down. And the day I was supposed to fly out, they canceled the expo, and I canceled my flight. And speaking of which, that flight is supposed to be good for me to use all the way a year from that day, but I'm not so certain at this point that it's going to be where I'm going to be able to use it in March, coming up in a few months. So I might try to call them back and say, hey, look, just give me my money. Linda, I see your question, but I don't know what is Roman's question. I don't see it. I must have missed it. Sorry guys, I haven't been looking at the chat as I've been rambling here. I'm scrolling out quite a bit. I don't see it, Linda. Can Roman, can you repost it, or can Linda post it? Yeah, I don't see it. His 5th film is in post-production. That's awesome. I can't do my film until this pandemic is over. I don't have the budget to do it. So with the pandemic, things are going to be more costly, especially food and catering. That's a big one during a pandemic. Yeah. So we're not even going to attempt it until this is over. He asked if it was easier to go vegetarian before going vegan. I can only speak from my experience. I didn't know what vegan was or anything about vegan when I went vegetarian, as most people do know what vegan is these days. Going vegetarian was kind of like the same mindset. Yeah, it made it. I guess it made it quite easy because I knew when I went vegetarian that I had to cut certain things out of my diet, and then when I finally went vegan, I knew I had to cut some extra things out of my diet, but I knew I had already done it once, so I could do it again. I know that there's a lot of people that like to slowly transition. For me and for a lot of other people, I'm that cold turkey kind of guy, so I did it overnight, and in my mind, I just told myself, like, hey, this is no longer food to me. Like, this isn't food. This is like, this is no different than like, something like I always say, like, here's my phone. I'm not going to eat my phone. I'm not going to eat animal cheese. It's not food. So I know that I got to look for other things to eat. But what makes it easier these days is because there's so many different things that are vegan, that are really good products. They taste really good, and they are almost identical replicas of the non-vegan version. So you don't really have to go without. You just buy different foods. And I know a lot of it is tradition, and a lot of it is ingrained in your mind over, a repetitive process of what you've done in the past. You just got to unlearn those things, or just know that, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore going forward. Those things are no longer, edible. So what am I going to do in the future? I'm going to eat vegan versions of that. Believe me, you're not going to go without, because I'm the kind of person, like, I don't like to eat things that don't taste good and don't fill me up and stuff like that. I love food. And there's just unlimited amounts of vegan food that is delicious, it's satiable, and it's going to fill you up, it's sustainable, and all of those things. So yeah, I would say, if you want to try going vegetarian for a little bit and then go full vegan, that might be a way to do it for you. If you want to go full steam ahead and just do it overnight, you don't want to set yourself up for failure though. And what I will say is, dairy actually has casomorphin in it. And that is for cows, for baby cows, to be almost addicted to weaning off their mothers so they grow up, so they don't die. So they grow up into a several 100-pound cow from like a very small calf. And when people eat cheese and milk and dairy products, they're eating that casomorphins. It's nowhere near like what a real morphine is, but there is an addictive property. That's why they say if you're going to do it, don't do it for like a week and say I couldn't do it. I was craving cheese too much. Go full-fledged and do it for at least 3 weeks to a month before you stop getting those cravings, because it takes about 22 days, 21, 22 days to break an addiction, and then you're good. You're not going to crave it anymore. I mean, the cravings were there, but like I didn't consider it food. Like I did it, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I have a pretty strong willpower. When I want to do something, I put all my, I put my mind to it and I do it. I always have been like that. So when I wanted to go vegetarian, I said, no, 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 no more anything that has to do with meat. And I did it. And at the time I told myself, I don't want to eat anything that's going to kill an animal, not knowing that the dairy industry was killing animals indirectly. And I didn't want to kill an animal, so I would still eat things that weren't killing an animal. Mind you, I ended up working at a pizza place which had cheese that I still wouldn't eat as a vegetarian because there was rennet in the cheese. And rennet, you have to kill an animal to get the rennet, because rennet is from like the lining of a cow or a goat's stomach, and that's how they would make that cheese. So I wouldn't eat any cheese as a vegetarian if it had that in it. So I was very, very picky and choosy with what I was eating, and that was, I mean, it was reasonable in my mind at the time because I knew nothing about the behind the scenes of the dairy industry at the time. Again, this is before YouTube and the internet was sharing this kind of stuff with people so they could see the truth. And it was hard to find any real research on it at the time. So, I did what I thought was right at the time. Yeah, Mike. Also, that's a good point. My brother Brian, he ate because he was a vegetarian. They both went vegetarian shortly after I did, so they're longtime vegetarians, but they're only newly vegans. Like I think they're like vegan 8 to 10 years now. Um, they My one brother Brian ate so many dairy products as a vegetarian. He ate so much cheese on everything. I mean, it was like Taco Bell every day, pizza with cheese, 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 cheese. His cholesterol as a vegetarian was like, the doctor was like, this is wrong. You got to do it again. It didn't seem right. He did it again. He's like, you're going to die. You need to like do something about this. My brother went vegan and got his cholesterol way, way, way down from what it was. And that was just from eating all kinds of cheeses and stuff. So you might think that you're healthier going vegetarian, but really you're eating so much dairy and you're not eating meat. I think it can really mess with your insides, your blood work and stuff. So yeah, going vegan is a lot different because you're not eating animal products. Going vegetarian, you're selectively eating animal products, and you're eating bad ones too. Yeah, luckily I didn't eat eggs unless they were like baked in something that I didn't see. But I hated eggs from a very young age, just because of experience, and like I wouldn't eat eggs. They grossed me out. So you wouldn't catch me eating like scrambled eggs or omelets or anything like that. And my dad to this day still does. Ugh, poached eggs, ugh, gross. And that's what he used to make for us when we were little kids. I'd be like, ugh, I don't want this. So, hi Ash, hi. If you're just joining us, people, we are just getting probably down to doing the trivia here. I feel like this has gone long enough that we don't even need the trivia in this one. But we had some good questions and I had to answer them. Sorry if I didn't get to everybody's questions. I got busy kind of telling stories. All right, let's do a little bit of movie trivia, I guess. You made the egg trick muffin? So good, yes. I used to make those long time ago, but I used to make like a slice of like a rectangle tofu when I would make it. But those were like one of my go-to things. Dawn of the Veg, yes, Dawn of the Veg. That's Goods and Evil. They are a vegan apparel company, and they turned Dawn of the Dead into Dawn of the Veg. And I have the shirt. I wore the shirt a couple nights ago. Alrighty. You guys want to do the movie trivia? If so, I am going to explain the rules to anybody that's just joined us that hasn't done it yet. So I normally do movie trivia. Last month in October, we did all horror related. Today, I'm just going to do any movie. It's not horror related. In fact, I don't think there's any horror related here. So you guys ask me a question, a yes or no question. I answer it with a yes or no to give you clues. Don't shout out answers until we have enough clues that it's likely that you would have a guess because of the clues, or else I won't answer those. So you'll just basically say, you know, am I thinking of a movie? Am I thinking of a person, of an actor, of a character? Is this person alive, dead? Is this from like the 60s or before? Is it from the, you know, something like that? Ask me questions to narrow it down to what we're looking for, and then we'll start the game going now. I'm getting hungry too, so I'm gonna have to hurry up with this, and then we'll go eat. We'll go eat. I'll go eat. I don't know what I'm gonna eat. I don't know what I have. Anyway, let's do this. We're ready. Am I in it? No, I'm not in this one. Not this one down. Yes, this probably will be harder than horror movies. I'm not thinking of a movie. Yeah, if you're not a movie buff and you don't really know too much about movies, and I do know several people that don't know any actors or anything like that. Yes, Trini, I'm thinking of an actor. Not a character, but the actual actor. Yeah, I've got a lot of friends that don't know anything about movies. I'm like, what? Are you serious? You've never heard of E.T.? Nope. Oh my God. You know, something like that. I am thinking of a male actor. Are they tall? I didn't expect that question. I don't know where to find that answer to that. I think he is tall. And yes, he is over 50. Tall is subjective though. Like, is he African American? No, he's not African American. He's not deceased either. Brown hair, yeah, I would say, yeah, it's dark. So yeah, probably brownish, yeah. Has he ever taken steroids? Actually, I don't know the answer to that, but I would guess he probably did at one point. Hey! Like the Fonz? Is he vegan? I don't believe he's vegan. His first name does not start with a C. I'm difficult tonight to get attention. Hi, Gomez. Is he an action star? He's been in some action. But not like... I think he's been in a few action. But not like superhero action kind of thing. Does he make comedies? Oh, man. I mean... I think some of his movies are just unintentionally comedy, but no, not like an Adam Sandler comedy. Yeah, he does drama movies. He's not over 60, but he is over 50. "56 years vegan on the 18, dang it. I have earned grandma here." Okay, so I'll 56 years vegan is how old this actor is. This actor is 56. So even though you weren't asking about the actor, we got it. Yes, brown hair, not George Clooney. Was he a television star too? Now I got to look further into this. I don't know if he was a television star. That doesn't mean that he's never been in a television show, but let me see here. Without looking this up, I don't recall ever seeing him in a television show, but I could be wrong. He may have got a start like early on. I mean, like a lot of people do, but I don't know of any television that he's been in. Just want to make sure nobody got it already. Not Arnold. How can we narrow this down? Yeah, this might be a little bit too hard. I mean, I could give away a really a good clue that would give it away probably in a couple seconds. So I don't know if I want to give that away yet. Has he worked with Kevin Bacon? He did play a villain. He did play a villain. Off the top of my head, did he work with Kevin Bacon? I didn't know this was going to be so hard for me. I'm like researching all this stuff real quick, who he was in with and stuff like that. Not Steven Seagal. All right, let's see. He's very famous. There we go. Stacy. I hope you didn't Google actors that are 56, but you got it. It is Nicolas Cage. I figured we needed some Nicolas Cage in here. And I think he may have, what movie was it? Long Kiss Goodnight or something, what was it? Something with a kiss in it. And he may have taken steroids for that movie. He was pretty jacked in that movie. Moonbat, you were going to say that? Yeah, it says Nicolas Cage is 56 years old, 1964. Seems like he'd be a lot older, doesn't it? You think of him more as a blonde? I mean, every picture I'm looking at right now, he's got darker hair. Nick Cage hair right there. Is he still famous? He's famous if you like. There's like crazy looking pictures of him that people. Raised in Arizona was one of my favorites too. Yeah, he's like the good bad actor. Anyway, let's go on to another one here. Nice guess there. All right, we got that one out of the way. All right, I got another one. Boom. Let's do this. Face Off is your guilty pleasure. I was trying to channel the answer with my mind up here. Nobody was getting it. Maybe because I wasn't looking directly into the lens. Okay, I'm not thinking of a movie. Not a director. Yes, I am thinking of an actor. Not a character, an actual actor. The actual person. I am thinking of a man. Scriptwriter, I don't think he may have written some scripts, but I don't think so. I think he's mainly just the actor. He is still alive. Actually, let me pull him up so I can have everything. I only had to write 3 letters and I got him. So that means he's famous. Okay. Well, of course they're all famous, but I mean like real famous. Yes, he is over 40. He's over 50. Is he known for having facial hair? No, not always. Not DMC. You love me? I love you too. Is he short? I don't know how tall he is. Now I got to go a separate tab and say how tall is blah, blah, blah. Let's see. He's taller than me. Yes, he's African American. Not Tom Cruise. Is he married to a fellow actor? He is married, but I don't know this person. Oh yeah, he is. He is married to another actor. Let's see. Oh, we have the answer. We have a winner. Boom. You are right. It is Samuel L. Jackson. It looks like Trini got it first. He's 71. Sam is 71. Oh, you know what? I think he may have gone. He has a video where he's being interviewed by, I think, one of his nieces, and I don't know if he still is, but you never know with celebrities. But I think he was vegan at one point. So yeah, Samuel Jackson, good one there. Okay. All right. I have. So the next one I have, you can't Google these things. Remember. So this one might be a little bit faster, but I'm going to just read a quote, and you guys got to guess the movie. So this one might be a little bit easier. Unless you've never seen the movie, then you'll have no clue whatsoever. Ready? You guys ready? Snakes on a plane. I liked him in Pulp Fiction. Stardust Sky. Thank you for that super chat. And a little icon of, what is that? Is that a cat or a fox? It could be a fox. Okay, so the next one is a quote that I'm going to read. So here we go. Ready? Everybody's ready? All right, here we go. I love this movie, and I watch it every time it's on. So you probably already know, right? It's funny. On the outside, I was an honest man, straight as an arrow. I had to come to prison to be a crook. All right, who's got it? Karate Fox. Okay, cool. Karate Fox. He's got the Karate Kid headband on. He's doing. There we go. Looks like Iron Gamer got it first. Mike, Shay, Shawshank, The Green Mile. I know what you did there. That was a good movie too. That was a really good movie. Yeah, Shawshank Redemption. So congrats to everybody that got that. It's a cat. Okay. Karate Cat. Who is Tim Robbins? Yep. Andy Dufresne. Okay, here we go. I don't even have to look at a quote for this one because it's in my brain. So the next one is also a quote, okay? So you guys will probably get this one again too. This is also one of my favorites. Okay, let me gather my thoughts so I can say the quote perfectly right. All right, here we go. I never had any friends later in life like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus, does anyone? I never had any friends later on in life like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus, does anyone? E.T. is my favorite, but this is one of my favorites. Oh, that was easy. You guys all got that one too. Stand By Me. Yeah, Stand By Me. Looks like we got AJ, Stacy, Straight Edge, Vegan Bell. Trini got it. Iron Gamer. That was a good one. Too easy, yep. That one was too easy. But, you know, I'm trying to think of some quotes that movies I like, you know. All right, how about this one? If you could only have one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? That's easy. Pez. Cherry flavored Pez. No question. What movie is that? Trick question, huh? Big? With Tom Hanks? Straight Edge Vegan Bell. Yes, it's Stand By Me again. And who said it? Who said it? It was Vern Tessio. No, it was Jerry O'Connell. Vern Tessio. He played Vern Tessio. Okay, so enough of Stand By Me, because I could probably do Stand By Me quotes all day. The kid with the... What are you talking about? Gordy LaChance? Or Teddy Duchamp? Who played Teddy? That's a good... There's a question. Who played Teddy in Stand By Me? Without looking it up. No, there's no Stand By Me, but I've seen it so many times. I know everything about the movie. No, the chubby kid was Vern Tessio, which Jerry, not Corey Haim. He wasn't in it. But not Corey Haim, but Corey. We're still on the question. Come on, there we go. Corey Feldman. My father stormed the beaches of Normandy. Okay. How about this one? This one's stupid because it's so easy. Everybody, if you guys don't know movies, everybody will get this. So everybody get ready to tell. I want everybody, if you got this, you need to thumbs up the video, okay? I'm going to say it. Ready? Everyone's going to get this. I don't care if you've never seen a movie in your life, you're still going to get it. Okay? Here we go. My mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. My mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. Everybody give me the answer. Everybody write the answer. I want to see how many of you are here. There we go. That's what I like to see. Now everybody go thumbs up it if you got it. All right, there we go. Everybody got it. Oops, typo. Who got a typo? What do you mean you got a typo there? Oh, did you write it wrong? Forrest Gump. Bubba Gump runs on vegan shrimp. Vegan fried shrimp. Vegan boiled shrimp. Vegan shrimp scampi. Vegan chocolate shrimp. We should do a Forrest Gump remake. We called the dog Forrest Gump. Oh, yeah. We called the dog. Stardressed, have a good night. And also, thank you again for that super chat. And I'm glad you liked the story about the tattoo. And I'm glad you didn't miss it either. You knew that was a quote. So you get an extra thumbs up for Nija. You knew that was a quote I was going to say. How could anybody not, even if you haven't seen the movie, you know what movie that is, right? I have seen Better Off Dead, but it's been a long time. I don't even know if I remember too much about it. You missed the tattoo story? Yeah, you probably want to rewind this probably almost an hour. Does anybody remember what point we were at when I was telling that story? It was early on, and it was a long story. Okay, we're almost done here, and then I got to get going because this one a little bit long. Maybe we'll just do one more, okay? Let's see. Oh, I got a good one. Okay, this one's good. I think it's good. Maybe it's not. I think it's good. Ready? I'm thinking of something right now. Let's see how many people get this one. This one's a little bit more... I also got to... Okay, it's not a movie. It's a character. It is a character, not the actor, but the actual character I'm looking for. And let me just see what this is. Okay. All right, got it. Okay, so we have a character not in the 80s. Yes, Mal, not Frodo. Good one though. That would have been equally as good as this one. And that would have been funny if you got it. This character is not from a comedy. So right now we have not the 80s, a male character. I think that's all we have right now. Not action. It's not a horror film that he's from. The character, if I were to guess, I wouldn't say... I wonder if I can Google this. What did you say? Under 40? Yes, under 40. Yes, it is a drama. Trying to get all the... The character is not the lead in the movie. It's not a comedy. Ethnicity? I believe just Caucasian. I don't think... Is he a superhero? That's kind of subjective, but if you're thinking like Marvel, DC, superhero, no. No, he doesn't live in New York. Just want to Google something real. Okay, yeah, it's definitely not New York. I just had to... Let's see. No, I'm not. I'm thinking of a character from a movie, a drama that he's in. He's under 40. He's a male, Caucasian. Thank you, Angela. Have a great night yourself. Glad you could watch the stream. Is this character of someone I would avoid hanging out with? I would totally hang out with this character, but I don't think many people did. It's not set in outer space. Is the actor still alive? Oh, wow. I didn't know he played. I didn't know he played. I did not know that was the actor that played him. Yeah, the actor is still alive. He's not a vampire. Is it 1 o'clock? Oh my God. Good night, Stacy. Not Shia LaBeouf. It doesn't take place in California. He's not a killer. No, he's not a killer. Did he play in General Hospital? Well, we're thinking of the character. So the character, no, the character is only in one movie. 10 p.m. with Julie. Just got back home. Is he funny? No. This will be the last one we do, and then we'll wrap it up here. Caught the beginning? No, it's not an action. It's a drama mystery. Not the 2000s. That might help you out if you find out when it's from. Is he sad? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. He might be. No, he doesn't swear. Is he tall? Probably the average height. Not 90s, not 70s. And not 80s. And it's not Neo. Yes, it was made in the 60s. Iron Gamer. He's, yeah. I mean, he's not obese or anything. I think, yeah, he's thin. He's not played by Aaron Paul because this was in the 60s. Favorite go-to vegan meal? Probably something pizza. Some kind of pizza. Or maybe just a nice smoothie. Or some tacos or a burrito or bibimbap or tofu scramble. Oh, there's so many. It depends what I'm in the mood for, but like I probably made pizza more than anything else. It's not a Christmas movie. It is a movie that I think just about everybody's heard of, and if I gave you any other clues of, you'd get it right away. It's not. It doesn't take place in Chicago. Listen, yeah, I'm hungry. Not Jack Nicholson. Not Robert Redford. But remember, we're thinking of the character. Not Norman Bates. Remember, this character doesn't kill anybody. But this character always stuck out to me ever since like 8th grade. Not Clint. Do you guys want me to give you not Johnny Depp, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? No, the movie that we're talking about here that this character is in, the movie was made in the 60s. No, don't feel stupid because this one's probably a hard one. This one's a hard one. But I feel like if you ask the right questions, it'll come really easy. Yeah, we're thinking of a character in a movie that was made in the 60s. The guy that played this character is still alive today. This character is not the main character in this movie. He doesn't kill anyone. He doesn't say much, but he always stuck out to me. He's Caucasian, and I think most everybody has heard of this character, or at least the movie. You gave up a while ago. Okay, all right, so I'll give you guys a super easy clue here. So I pretty much think we all read this book in school at some point, or at least most of us did. unless you skip that day or week. And a movie came from it, from the book. This is a more difficult one. Not Atticus Finch. Nope, not Atticus Finch. Bo Ridley. I think you might have the answer there, but I think you spelled it wrong. And Janelle is on the right path right now. I'll give you a hint. There we go. Boo Radley from To Kill a Mockingbird is the one that I was thinking of right here. Boo Radley. And I did not know that Tom Duvall played Boo Radley. That is new to me. Tom Duvall played Boo Radley. Tom Duvall's in a lot of movies, including The Godfather. Well, you guys, see, I knew it. Once I said the book, you guys would know. Everybody knew. So you guys, Mike, I know you knew who you were trying to say, Boo Radley there. And Janelle definitely got the movie right. And everybody else got it right afterwards. So congratulations. That was a hard one. But I feel like I have to throw a hard one in every once in a while, or else the game's no fun. But I hope it wasn't too hard. And that's it. I hope you guys liked the stream. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to go do stuff, make some food probably. Have a good night, and we'll see you guys soon.